there is a fly on the camera. And I know that this camera will resolve an absurd level of detail in capturing that photo. If you want a powerful point and shoot camera with a 28mm equivalent field of view, then the world is full of options. But what I can say to you is that if you're willing to take things to GFXS, then Fujifilm's GFX100 RF is about as good as anything like this gets. My name is Ian, welcome to Prime Lenses. Normally when you hear that, it means that it's Sunday morning and that there's a new episode of the podcast out that I release every week. If you're new around here, then welcome. There are over 110 episodes of Prime Lenses for you to go back and enjoy and listen to. And normally I sit down with a person and talk to them about 3 lenses that have meant something to them on their photographic journey, sometimes. But this is an excuse to do something a little bit different. I wanted to make some videos and learn some new things and have an excuse to talk to you all visually. And the first excuse that came my way was when Fujifilm said that they would loan me something to play with. Now, January 2026, I reached out to Fujifilm to ask about an Instax mini printer that they make. The printer in question has a feature where when you print a picture, you can scan it with the app and it will play a sound clip. And I thought, I make an audio first podcast product. This has product market fit, that sounds great. And so Fujifilm got back to me and they said, Ian, that sounds fabulous. We're going to send you something to play with. And I said, great. And what they sent me was not a tiny printer to play with, but was in fact their flagship medium format fixed lens camera, the GFX100 RF. So, how have I been getting on in medium format land? I normally shoot with an interchangeable lens rangefinder style camera. So how have I got on with a camera with an EVF, with a fixed lens, with clicky dials, but also a fun aspect ratio dial just on the side? Well, the last 3.5 weeks have been tremendous fun. This camera has a pick up and play quality that is different to a lot of cameras with these kinds of specs. Because this thing does not shoot me a full frame, my friends. This is a medium format beast of a point and shoot. It's complete overkill. Some would say that Fujifilm have taken this camera to the GFXS of GFX. Look, I'm new. Give me that one pun. I'm a dad. Come on, it's fine. But I have really loved shooting with this thing. The nice clicky real aperture dial is lovely on the front and has these 2 little nodules on which make finding and adjusting it very easy without taking the camera away from your eye when you're using it. It's got lovely shutter and ISO dials that if you're familiar with Fujifilm cameras, you'll know they often have. Exposure compensation on the right here. Lots of customization around clicky dials and things. A joystick on the back for adjusting your autofocus, which was new to me because I don't deal in autofocus normally. The aspect ratio dial on the back, which lets you adjust the framing of your picture whilst you're in the viewfinder, so without having to kind of take your eye away again. It's brilliant. Like, if you want a weather sealed fixed lens point and shoot experience with no compromises, then this, my friend, is the camera for you. Because if you shoot pro systems all the time and have a bag full of lenses and are used to using all of those features, even when you're just taking photos of your pets and your family, you don't want to let go of those features when you then go to pick up your weekend point and shoot. And I suppose that's where Fujifilm were coming from with this. They've given you everything you would need for a weekend away or a short trip in this one camera, but without the complexity of additional bags and without the worry of dirt and dust and all that sort of crud getting in. And whilst it seems like complete madness to make a 102 megapixel medium format point and shoot camera in 2025, they did it. And they gave it 2 SD card slots and they gave it levers on the front for adjusting stuff and they gave it a really high quality EVF and a flippy screen and all the stuff. But it's not for everyone. I think this has to be a second camera. I think, although you could live with it as a first camera, like while I was shooting earlier versions of this today, there's lots of bees in the heather, and the 100 megapixel sensor means that you can make a photograph of plants and then usably crop in and see a bumblebee or a ladybird in the shot. It's wild. Like, that's complete insanity, and it's overkill, and most people don't need it. The files are also massive. You will need a big drive on your laptop. I'm here to tell you that my 256 gigabyte drive on my hand-me-down laptop has not been enough. And external storage is advised for sure. But if you have the means, and if a fixed lens Powerhouse point and shoot is your thing, this is a really good option. There is no compromise here. The 28mm field of view is really usable. It only goes down to f4, but that still gives you great separation from your background and lovely blur and fall off in the lens. The lens renders beautifully. There's an absurd level of detail. You can definitely get drunk on the level of detail in these raw files. And I'm not here to tell you that you need that and that when you print it, you will see all of it, but it is extremely fun to play with. And in 3.5 weeks, I haven't got bored of it. I've enjoyed carrying this thing around, and some days I would only take this and just challenge myself to just have the one camera and the one lens and just see what I could do. And I didn't feel like I'd compromised anywhere. The film simulation stuff is tremendous. If you're a Fujifilm fan, you know that dialing in film recipes and adjusting the style to your liking is the kind of the killer feature on this. And I'm really glad it's there, because as much as I love the color film recipes that are built into this camera, I don't particularly like Fujifilm's black and white. It just always looks a bit flat to me, or a little bit blue, like something that was black and white but that was printed on a color press. It doesn't quite have the oomph, but you can dial in oomph. And these are raw files. So if you shoot JPEGs and RAWs next to each other, as most of us do anyway these days, then the reality is you can dial in exactly what you want and use your own presets and do whatever. So again, no compromise. It's an absurd camera. I've been contacted by listeners who are contemplating them and are looking at other point and shoots and things, and I think at the price and the type of camera it is, a year into its life, you already know, watching this, whether you're going to buy it. If you want to, and if you feel like it's the camera for you, then try it. Find a way, get to a B&H, wander into a store, go and see Fuji in London, try it out for yourself. Because it is a really, really great piece of kit and you can't really fall off. A lot of camera YouTube is filled with people saying how all modern cameras are good, and they're right. They are pretty much all good. And there's not a lot you can't do with them. This thing does shoot video as well. I haven't really messed about with the video. I'm not a video person. You can tell from the production of this right now. You know how good I am. Becca makes this look easy. Doesn't she make it look easy? You make it look easy, Becca. It isn't easy. But this camera's great. And I think if you have the means and you have the instinct and desire to play with it, then pick it up. You'll have a whale of a time. It's just a shame that medium format is expensive, but it's not too big, it's not heavy. I will say on the handling, it is a chunky boy, it is tall, but it is not heavy. It's lighter in the hand, I think, than my usual camera combination. And there were times when I had to pick up my camera bag and double check that it was in the camera bag before I picked it up and wandered off with it and left the house. So definitely disarmingly light for such a powerful camera. And the battery life has been very good as well. I'm only shooting stills and RAW, and so I'm not really burning through the battery. I've charged it every couple of days. You can charge via USB-C, very convenient. So yeah, a tremendous camera, and a huge thank you to Fujifilm UK for loaning this to me. It has made me ex-pro curious. As a rangefinder shooter, I'm wondering if I can get great quality in a small rangefindery package. Like, I'm curious to try that out, but we'll see how that goes, and hopefully I can get my hands on one of those and play with it. If you've watched this far, you're a brave soul, and I thank you for being patient with me while I learned how to do video in the same way that I had to learn how to make podcasts. For more of this sort of nonsense, you can go to primelensespodcast.com and listen to one of the 110 episodes that we've already done, with many, many more on the way. We recently did one about the Artemis space missions. Pete Souza is a former guest, Joel Meyerowitz, loads of people, Gadgen Barlin. Hello Gadgen, Ben Frattanali, who you'll know from YouTube. Loads of guests, loads of great episodes for you to take on dog walks and school runs and trips to the park. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being patient with me, and a big thank you again to Fujifilm UK for the loan of this. I'm sorry it's got to go, I've literally got to go and put it in a box right now. This is my last take. Thanks everyone. And that leaf shutter quiet.